Mickey, I am not playing favorites. Now, even a candidate of my extraordinary talents cannot be in Canarsie and Yonkers on the same night at the same time. No, now, Yonkers came first. Well, I'll tell you what, how about... Hold it, let me look. How about a week from Tuesday? You got it. No, I wouldn't cancel if the Queen of England called. Right. So long. Hell, she can't even vote.
Who can't even vote?
Nobody you know.
My, aren't we snappish this evening?
Are we?
Hey, you really are tired. Can you grab a cup of coffee before we leave?
No. What are those?
Oh, some position papers I drafted. Proposed highway for the west side of Manhattan. Proposals for tax reform. And increased aid, federal aid for the arts.
Fine. Tell you what. In the morning. Now, let me get rid of Georgia. Georgia! Oh, it's gorgeous. It's a work of art. Now, I need these 3 items first thing in the morning. This, the original, plus 3 copies, the original, plus 5 copies, and the usual on this. It's Mrs. Morales' will. She'll be in to sign it around 10:30.
All this, and he still practices law.
Well, she's an old friend of my mother's. I couldn't say no.
Mr. Ryan, you want all 3 first thing?
I knew you could do it. Now, I'm on my way out to the airport. Don't panic. We're just dropping Dave's daughter off on the way to the island. I'll tell you what, I'll give you the number where I can be reached. It's a Nassau County District Leaders meeting, okay? Now, go on, get out of here. Before you leave, call Jill. Tell her I'll be late, not to wait up. In fact, tell her I've left already.
Gather things didn't go too well at the beach house.
You could say that, yeah.
You and Jill didn't have any luck solving your problem?
Not so far. Incidentally, that was Mickey Hartigan on the line. I made a date with the Canarsie Club.
Terrific.
Georgia, I want you to meet my little girl.
Well, my word, Nancy. Everything your father said is absolutely true.
Thanks, I think.
Come on in, Dave.
Ah, right.
This is little Nancy?
Strange getting rid of a
There. Sorry for the interruption. I think he's settled in now.
He didn't object to you leaving him?
Oh, no, he's not alone. He has 2 rabbits, a duck, a koala bear, all lined up in the crib. I think he's getting ready to play TV talk show.
Oh, he's so cute. I hope I didn't come at a bad time.
Oh, no, I'm glad you came. There's something that you have to understand about your nephew. He does not have a regular schedule. For him, things happen when they have to. Something like his father.
Are you expecting Frank?
Oh, no. First rule of this establishment, never expect Frank. It's easier that way. Excuse me. Hello?
Jill? Georgia. Mr. Ryan asked me to call and say he'll be quite late, so don't wait up.
Oh, I see. Did he leave a number where I could reach him just in case there's an emergency?
Oh, yes. He's in Long Island. A district leaders meeting. It's 516.
Look, never mind. I mean, I wouldn't dream of calling him unless it was an emergency. In which case, I will call you, and then you can call him for me. I'm sorry, Georgia. It's not your fault. Thanks.
don't you suppose that means he really is busy?
No, it means that he's really angry, and so am I.
Old problems or new ones?
Old ones with new wrinkles. You haven't heard about the latest fiasco at the beach house.
Yes. I have a feeling both of us should stay away from that place.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, we were having some problems with schedules and expectations, so Frank decided that we should steal an evening away at the beach house. Talk, relax.
That sounds marvelous.
Yeah, doesn't it? And I was exhausted, so I thought, well, I'll drive out early. And then Seneca came out for the afternoon to keep Edmund and me company.
You invited Seneca.
Well, no, I mean, he more or less invited himself. And I'm glad, because Frank called and said he was tied up. So we decided he shouldn't bother driving out that late, because he'd have to get up at the crack of dawn anyway. So Seneca decided to stay for dinner, and then I thought, why should he drive back that late?
I have a feeling I know how the story ends.
Whatever you're imagining, it was worse. Seneca was sleeping in the alcove downstairs, and Edmund and I were upstairs sleeping. Frank decided to drive out. He arrives at midnight, walks into a dark house, and sees this figure, which he thought was me, sleeping under the sheets, and plants a loving kiss on its shoulder. You see? You think it's funny, and so did I, and so did Seneca. However, Frank did not find it amusing.
Can you blame him?
No, I don't. And the worst thing that could have happened is that we would have laughed, and Seneca and I could not stop. Oh, so he drove off, spun on his heels, came back here, actually. I followed him, and we had it out at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Well, that's probably good for you.
Yeah, if we had settled anything. But the problem is we just rode around in circles, exhausted from sheer rage, and then I kept saying, let's stop this before it gets any worse. And he wouldn't have any of that. And then, unfortunately, had to put it in the worst terms of all, saying how he was not going to give me the right to see Seneca, as if I were some sort of trophy he won in a competition.
I think the two of you need time to cool off.
How much? I mean, it seems we spend every day cooling off between rounds.
Jill, just hang in there till November.
Yeah, if I could believe that something would get settled. Ugh. Enough of this. Enough. Tell me about Tom. How are things?
No real change. Both tense, careful. Neither one of us is willing to say what we're really feeling.
It's a pretty bad start for a marriage.
I know. I try to encourage him to open up. The truth of the matter is, I can't open up. He senses it. He said to me the other day that he can never touch what's really inside of me.
Is he right?
For now. I miss Pat. There's a lot of pain there, especially how everything happened. But I've come to the conclusion that I just have to bury those feelings and they'll go away. But in the meantime, I can't share them with Tom. I can't love him how he wants me to.
The way he loves you.
Which makes him very angry. Tom has a terrible problem with anger.
Yeah, so you said.
But most of this anger, I know it has nothing to do with me. It stems from his childhood. But any feeling of rejection, and boom, sets him right off.
Even though he's accepted the conditions of the marriage?
He knows. He knows he's not rational. But still, at the same time, I feel like I'm living with a built-in time bomb. Excuse me. No, I've got to go.
Oh.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, lucky me. Both my sisters.
Well, I'm sorry, but I was just getting ready to leave.
Well, I'm not driving you away, am I?
No. But be careful. I think you're catching paranoia from your roommate. See you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
As much as I'm fond of our little sister, I'd rather speak to you alone. See, I came to beg some legal advice.
Oh?
Jillian, how long would it take Pat Ryan to get an annulment if Delia didn't fight it in any way?
Why?
I want you to meet Nancy Feldman, Dave's daughter.
How do you do? Dave, I didn't know your daughter was so grown up.
Hello, Mrs. Woodard. Don't believe anything Daddy says. He still carries a picture of me from when I was in the 5th grade.
Now, kitten, nobody has to tell me that I've got a college graduate on my hands. Summa cum laude with special distinction in the dance program.
Congratulations.
That's right. When all the little girls of the neighborhood trooped off to dancing school, Nancy here was the only one who didn't drop out. And now she's going on to bigger and better things, right?
Everything she does is bigger and better. She's on her way to star in a summer stock company in Indiana.
Indiana, how nice.
I'm not the star. I'm just the lead chorus girl.
Well, for now.
Oh, Daddy, enough. I won't be able to follow my own act. So how is everybody? How's Siobhan?
Everybody's great. Siobhan is, well, she's out west, but threatening to come home.
Are you ready for that?
Is anybody?
Listen, let me call to see when they expect us. Hmm?
Thanks. Go on, sit down, Nancy.
Thanks. Well, what's she doing out there?
Lots of things lately. She's been teaching.
Oh, I'd envy any bunch of kids who got Siobhan for a teacher.
Yes, but do you envy their parents?
Perhaps you can fill me in on Siobhan. Every time anyone mentions her name, Frank just rolls his eyes.
What should we tell her?
Well, I'm not sure how to put this, Ray. My youngest sister is, what, a rebel?
That's part of it.
Without a cause?
Oh, no. Siobhan always has a cause.
Sometimes 2 or 3.
Siobhan is an intelligent, audacious, vital, funny... She's an extraordinary human being.
You like her?
Oh, I love her. She changed my life.
Really? How so?
Well, we were both 12 years old, and Siobhan was at Annunciation, and I was down at Ethical Culture. But we got a lot of chance to see each other in the neighborhood, and we got to be good friends. Your dad, do you remember, used to go to all the boxing matches at Madison Square Garden? All of them. Everybody had to go.
Mm-hmm.
Maeve, Patrick, Kathleen, Frank, Siobhan, Mary.
Mary loved those fights.
But Siobhan hated them. She used to stick her finger down her throat to make herself sick so she wouldn't have to go. And once, she got a heating pad and heated herself up so that Maeve thought she had a fever. But then one day she just said, "Oh, why do I put up with this? I hate boxing. Why do I have to like boxing?" So she marched into Johnny and she said, "Duh, boxing is cruel and brutal. And besides, it's boring. And I don't care about it."
Da was wounded, but he got over it.
Yeah. It's a very funny story, but how did that change your life?
Inspiration. A couple of years later, when Daddy was always after me to stuff envelopes or to pass out flyers about some candidates of his, I thought about Siobhan, and then I was able to tell him that I just wasn't interested in politics.
But I'm sure you did it with a little more tact.
A little bit. I hated to hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
It was hard for him at first, but he now accepts me as an apolitical person, which I still am.
How do you live?
Oh, I do my own thing. I dance, I act a little. Oh, I study a little anthropology and a little medieval art.
You see, Ray, there are other things in life. You might be right about politics. It's a crazy existence. Endless demands, no sleep, constant compromise, non-stop pressure, and no time to be with the people that you love.
Oh, Frank, that's awful.
Yeah, but what he isn't mentioning is that he happens to love every minute of it.
You know, she's right.
Well, I'm ready.
And so are we. Come on, Nance. We don't want you to miss your plane.
What is the clue?
And select from
Appraisal. There's.
Could you give me the answer, and then we'll get on to examining my motives?
All right. With a little bit of luck, a cooperative judge, and the right calendar, maybe less than 3 to 4 weeks.
I see.
Can't help wondering, are you asking out of personal interest?
Oh, Jill, don't be crass. I'm interested in Delia, of course, as a friend. But we've been working very hard to help her get rid of this neurotic dependence on the Ryans.
Who's we?
Al Pagano and I.
Oh.
She's been in intensive therapy with him, and he says she's making remarkable progress.
Well, if he's done that, he deserves medal. Sounds like a pretty interesting project.
Look, a legal end to her marriage with Pat will hasten her progress toward independence, that's all.
And if you succeed in curing her of this Ryan habit, undoubtedly she's going to transfer all those desperate needs onto you. Ah, or is that what you want?
Absolutely not. You see, I have a vision of the Delia of the future.
Oh, Lord.
She's a very strong person, you know.
Oh, tell me about it. Strong enough to complicate the lives of two adult men. Frank and Patrick?
Yeah, well, I'm sure they would both admit that they helped contribute to that situation.
Maybe.
At any rate, you'll agree that Delia has a certain strength. And she's also very, very bright.
Diabolically.
Jill, my point is that she has enormous potential. I mean, I can imagine her as an independent, self-reliant, and very capable person.
You can? Well, I can, and I think you're kidding yourself. Delia Reed Ryan has devoted herself to a life of clinging and weeping. I mean, why should she change now?
Because it's not working for her anymore. Look, her life is in a shambles.
I can't think of a more deserving person.
Don't be cruel, Jill. It doesn't become you. She is a sick person who needs help.
All right, if you say so. But it doesn't mean that I have to sympathize with Delia's plight. And even if I did feel sorry for her after all the rotten things she's done, in no way can I conjure up an image of the self-sufficient, glorious Delia that you have in mind.
People change.
Not Delia. Not in a million years.
Well, there is hope for all of us.
Roger, what is in this for you? I mean, I know that you have changed a lot in the last year, but you have never done anything that isn't firmly rooted in self-interest.
As I said, there's hope for all of us. Thanks for the counsel.
Hello?
Is the coast clear?
What?
If a man answered, I was going to hang up. Are you there?
I'm here, trying to figure out whether I should hang up or not.
Now, have I done anything to deserve that?
Probably.
Look, if you're still worried about Frank and me, forget it. It was just a momentary fit of passion. It's all over between us.
You're crazy. And it feels good to laugh. I've been afraid ever since.
Things not so hot on the home front?
No, they're not. And don't ask anymore, okay?
Fine with me. Hey, look, how about a little lunch tomorrow, huh? I know a marvelous Polish restaurant where nobody's going to walk in on us. I guarantee it.
Ah, sounds very tempting. My son is terrific company, but his vocabulary is a little limited. The only people I've seen have been Faith and Roger, 5 minutes apiece.
Not even Frank?
No, he's busy.
Yeah, I know. Look, I really don't want to be the source of trouble between the two of you. So if you think that's at all likely, you just give me the word. I'll go eat my gawupki alone.
Gawupki?
Yeah, stuffed cabbage.
Oh, stuffed cabbage.
Yeah, and adult conversation, too. Now, that's really all I can offer you right now. But if Frank objects...
Frank and I made an agreement some time ago that we have the right to maintain our friendships.
Well, I'm delighted I'm still in that category.
And I don't know why I shouldn't have friends. Frank certainly has his.
Here.
Thank you.
I wish we could have taken the limo.
No. Here. How would that look? Frank Ryan, man of the people, arriving in a chauffeur-driven limousine? No. Das car is much better.
And, well, it sure does have a lived-in feel.
You nervous, kitten?
Not yet. Maybe tomorrow at rehearsal.
Oh, forget it. You'll be a knockout. Now I'm gonna miss you. 2 weeks at home, I've kind of gotten used to having you around.
I'm gonna miss you too. But you can't fool me. You're gonna have a dynamite summer without me, hanging out with your politicos.
Dave,
Huh?
why don't you fill me in on this guy, what's his name, Mike Walsh?
All right. Well, we have to go back to about 1952. Both clerked together in Justice Sampson's office.
Uh-huh.
Used to be a hell of a nice guy, except for...
Next Thursday, the roles are reversed. She won't commit, and he won't stand for it. Sounds like a job for the guy who wrote the book on relationships. An all-new Greg Barron's Wake Up Call, part of Sugar Free Valentine's, next Thursday at 10 on SoapNet.